by self-advocating, by, having a voice at different levels, locally, regionally and nationally, helps to change and influence policy, so that then can lead for change and, better for people with a learning disability.
Welcome to Tidy People, a series that looks at everyday people who make a difference every day out in our communities. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Tidy People. This week I'm joined by Emma Alcock from Cwm Taf People First. Thank you so much for joining us, Emma.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, Emma.
Okay, so I'm Emma, like you said, and I work for an organisation called Cwm Taf People First. It's a self-advocacy organisation for adults with a learning disability, set up, run by and for its members.
It's fantastic. So what sort of work does Cwm Taf People First do?
So we want to make sure that people with a learning disability have voice, choice and control in every aspect of their life. So we make sure that they're supported to go to meetings, have accessible information, able to make decisions for themselves in all things that matter, really.
Great. So how did you get into this work as well then?
Oh yeah, many moons ago now. I started in People First, about 20 odd years ago now. I think I just started working with people with learning disability in the community, and the job came up, and it was just something I found myself quite interested in looking at how to support people to have a voice and know about their rights. So it kind of had a bit of a background in learning disability and community work. So yeah, I ended up in People First then.
And what is it about making sure that people have that voice that really drives you, and then the work of Cwm Taf People First as well?
I think for me it is trying to battle those inequalities. I like people to be treated fairly, like people to be treated in the same way as everybody else, to have equity. So I think we've seen quite a few inequalities over the years. COVID has highlighted that. Even though we knew it was there, everything seems to be heightened now. So, and I think people have to fight for their rights again now. Whereas I think our older members have always done it. Some of our younger ones weren't so used to fighting for their rights because things were already, the way it'd been paved by the older members.
Yeah.
So I think is about justice, really, social justice, and people having the same opportunities as everybody else.
And that kind of that desire to help others achieve justice, is that something that's rooted from where you grew up and your experience growing up?
I don't actually know. I don't know. I suppose I've always kind of always worked with people. When I started off in a factory many moons ago, but I think I always wanted to work with people. And yeah, I think it's just, I don't know, I guess I'm a people person. I like being around people.
I mean, it's a great job as well. Like, we've done lots of work with yourselves as well, and it's great to see the difference that it does make. So, what's it like when you see some of the service users that you work with actually come forward and end up working with yourselves and really advocating for themselves in really kind of great ways as well, impactful ways?
Yeah, it's quite humbling, really. I feel quite privileged to work alongside the people that I work alongside. It's good for them to take control of their own lives. At the end of the day, they have the lived experience and they know what's best for them. And yeah, we feel quite proud. I think one of the highlights was last year when we sang at the Eisteddfod. We have a choir called Codi Llais, so it's a creative way of self-advocating. So and we're off to Wrexham again this year. But that was a proud moment, and the song makes me feel quite emotional.
Yeah. Great. Art is a really great way sort of for people to connect generally anyway, isn't it? So what role does art play, particularly sort of with people with learning disabilities?
I think people with learning disabilities have probably been excluded from the arts in a lot of ways. There's far more inclusion now than there used to be. I guess for us in Cwm Taf, we've done quite a bit with the choir. We also do quite a bit with some local charity called Spectacle Theatre. They do drama performances which highlight hate crime. That's some of the work that we've done with them. So we try and kind of get people involved in all sorts, because people like to express themselves in different ways. We employ an illustrator, so she does drawings, and sometimes the group do some drawing with her. So it's a way for them to express what they want to say, because they don't always have vocabulary to speak up. They don't always have the confidence to speak up either. So the arts is a good way of people, speaking up or at least expressing their opinion about whatever it is we're talking about.
It's great that there's so many different doors into that as well, and especially for those, I guess, those with that kind of vocabulary as well. I mean, there's some really great work you've done with some of your members as well around sort of advocating for independent living and things like that as well. Can you tell me a little bit about some of that as well, and kind of some of the wins that you've seen over the years?
Yeah, we've seen quite a few of our members coming through where they've left the family home and have gone in and started off in supported living. Some of them gone on into independent living. Some people, just feel ready to move on, the same as the rest of us, everybody else in society, which is a point where you want to become independent. Yeah, so I think again it's about people having, having the right channels, go to the right meetings, getting the right support to speak up and make their own choices about where they live and who they live with.
Yeah, and I guess where you live as well, it's more than just sort of the property you live in as well. It's sort of the area around you as well, isn't it? So what's your experience been sort of talking about these issues and sending sort of kind of people with lived experience out into those communities to talk about these things? What's that experience been like? Has it been kind of quite welcoming?
In lots of places, yes. I think things are better now than what they used to be years ago. We've had some issues with transport. People sometimes don't always feel safe on transport, but we're doing a piece of work with Transport for Wales, to be fair. I think, again, certain communities are more welcoming than others. We see differences right across Rhondda Cynon Taf. But I think things are better. But one of our key areas is around community safety and people having a community presence and volunteering having opportunities to work, socialise, take part in leisure facilities and everything else that anybody else would do. So I think people have a bigger role now to play there than what they used to years ago. That's improved.
Oh, great. It's good to see that there's sort of improvement there, but still sort of space for a little bit more kind of inclusion, I guess, in some of those spaces. Which, speaking of, can you tell me a little bit about the safe spaces work that you do as well?
Yeah. So a couple of our members, for that reason, didn't always feel safe when they were out in the community. So we became aware of the Safe Places scheme, which runs is a nationwide scheme. And we entered into conversations with the local authority and the South Wales Police, who finally gave us permission then to set up the Safe Places scheme, which now runs across RCT. It's open to any adult who's in the community who feels they might just want a little bit of extra help or support when they're out, or might feel overwhelmed for whatever reason. They can go in, and the staff there in all the safe places are trained and know how to work with people. And anybody can sign up to it by just giving us a ring, and they can join up the scheme.
Yeah, well, it'd be great to see more people sign up as well. And what difference does it make for that sort of that individual person, sort of that confidence of being able to come to somewhere like Ponty and know there's safe spaces? What difference does that make?
Well, we did a little bit of an evaluation not so long back, and the impact was that people felt safer and more confident about going out in the community. Again, it helps people to either stay independent or become more independent than what they already are, because it gives that extra layer of security. So if they plan a journey into Ponty, then they can look on an app, find out where the safe place is. As long as they've signed up to the scheme, they got their card, then they're able then to carry that around with them to have that backup if need be. So a lot of people said they're not actually using it as much as they thought they might. It's that psychological impact that they have that if they need it.
Yeah, it's good to know that that sort of backup there is there, but it's great that they're feeling confident they don't actually end up using it anyway, but it's something to fall back on. So that's quite reassuring, actually, isn't it? So sort of thinking about sort of individual experiences and sort of perhaps misconceptions as well about people with learning disabilities. But what do you see a lot of in sort of the Cwm Taf area where you're working, sort of misconceptions?
Misconceptions. I think people think that sometimes people with learning disability don't understand, they can't learn. But we found that's not the case. If people are given the right conditions at a given time, then they are able to learn and they're able to understand. Sometimes it might take a little longer. Sometimes you might have to use a different way, different language, make it more accessible for people. We still get a lot of discrimination. We do see discrimination, and we do still see some hate crime that's going on. But our guys, we've got a lot of trainers. We've got a team of trainers. They're quite happy to go out and deliver disability equality awareness training to all different organisations. We do it in schools, we do it to, with student nurses, just to try and break down those barriers. And sometimes we take people on placements, we link in with schools as well, so it helps to break down some of those barriers, and people just see people for who they are and the skills and attributes that they can bring to the community the same as everybody else.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to sort of see more people sort of not making assumptions and actually just, so it's that, I guess it's treating people equally, isn't it? So, actually until someone tells you that they need an adjustment or that, you might need a bit of an extra explainer or something like that, actually just speak to people like human beings, isn't it, really? And kind of just sort of see how that conversation goes, isn't it? And I know certainly from speaking with some of the people that you've worked with, I mean, absolutely very confident, very intelligent people, actually. So it's, they've got really great points and are great self-advocates, which I guess makes your job a little bit easier as well sometimes. Like, you don't need to be that voice for them because, like you said, they've got that voice for themselves. And I guess in many ways, you've created that space for them as well. How important is that space?
Yeah, I think it's really, really important. And again, by self-advocating, by, having a voice at different levels, locally, regionally and nationally, helps to change and influence policy, so that then can lead for change and, better for people with a disability.
And I guess part of kind of leading that change is that sort of advocacy and campaign work. So, what sort of, if you would if you're running sort of campaigns now, or what's the key messages you'd like people to learn or understand? Really, so kind of, what's that campaign message that you're trying to get out there at the moment, or would like to get out there soon?
I think it's always see the person first, the disability a second, and listen to what people have got to say. It might take a little bit longer, have a little bit of patience, but if you listen, people with lived experience are the experts. Not us, not professionals. They are the experts. So see the person first, always.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice message, and it's interesting that you're working in a space where actually you're trying to relinquish as much of the control as you can to hand it over to the people that you're working with. And I think the results of that really do speak for themselves when you see the work that Cwm Taf People First does. So what would you say to other sort of service providers, particularly sort of public sector, which, there's frequently lots of red tape we have to kind of fight through? How would you sort of advocate that? So actually just let people lead their own services.
Yeah, co-production is the way forward, because I think if you can get it right, work from the bottom up, from the top down, because if everybody's involved, again, co-production does take a while, it can do, but it's meeting the needs of the people from the start, rather than providing a service or providing something which isn't meeting the people's needs. So work together, and together then we can bring about change.
Sounds very good. So what do you need to plug at the moment? What's Cwm Taf People First sort of immediate sort of next thing that's happening?
Next thing, we're off to Wrexham now for the Eisteddfod. We have a festival, Viva Fest, which is in the ICC in Newport this year. Again, annual health checks is a big thing that we've been working on, but there's been change around that now, which is positive. And again, we've still got some of the hate crime stuff going on, and safe places. So if anybody wants to sign up to safe places, just give us a shout.
That sounds like such a very busy summer then.
Yeah, always a busy summer.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, Emma. It was really great to hear about all the variety of work that Cwm Taf People First is doing, and not only that, but the difference that it's making as well. So, diolch yn fawr.
Thank you very much for having us.
Tidy People is produced by Trefalis Housing Association on behalf of the communities it serves. If you'd like to feature in one of our episodes, please get in touch at comms@trefalis.co.uk. That's comms, COMMS, @trefalis.co.uk.